Sometimes the thought of being around people feels exhausting before anyone has even done anything. A message appears. Someone asks if you want to come over. A coworker says, "We should all go out after work." A friend sends, "Can I call you for a minute?" And nothing about it is wrong. They are not being cruel. They are not asking for too much. They may even be people you like, but something in your body changes anyway. Before you can even explain it, your energy drops. Not like sleepiness. Not like laziness. More like your whole system quietly saying, "I do not have the strength to become that version of myself right now." Because before you even answer, your mind is already there. You can already feel yourself preparing your face. How much to smile, how quickly to respond, how interested to sound, so nobody mistakes your tiredness for rejection. And that is the part people do not see. They only see the part that happens later. The replies that take longer, the plans you slowly stop agreeing to, the way you go quiet in a group and seem to disappear without leaving the room, the way you leave early and look relieved before anyone understands why. From the outside, people may not see exhaustion. They may only see someone who pulls back, someone who answers less, someone who seems harder to reach than before. So they start turning your tiredness into a personality. They call it being cold. They call it being difficult. They call it not caring. But those words only describe the distance. They do not describe what it costs you to stay close. Because you may not be tired of people, you may be tired of the person you have to become around them. Around people, you start reading the room before you even realize it. You laugh at the right time. You soften your tone. You notice when someone's mood shifts. And even when there is nothing left inside, some part of you still tries to stay emotionally available. That is why being around people can feel so confusing, because you do not hate them. You may even care about them deeply. But caring does not stop your body from getting exhausted. Sometimes people feel heavy because connection has stopped feeling simple. It starts feeling like you have to get ready before you even arrive. Ready to respond the right way. Ready to explain yourself if your energy looks different. Ready to become understandable before anyone has the chance to misunderstand you. And after doing that for long enough, even a normal invitation can feel like a demand. Even a friendly message can feel like pressure. Even someone saying, "I miss you," can make you feel guilty instead of loved. Not because you are heartless, but because your body has started recognizing the cost before the interaction even begins. If you have ever felt tired around people you actually like, leave a dot in the comments. Because sometimes the people who need to be alone are not rejecting everyone. They are trying to find one place where they can finally stop performing. And when you keep needing a place where you can finally stop performing, people may start creating their own explanations. They may think you are avoiding them. They may think you do not care anymore. They may think you have become negative, distant, or hard to reach. Some may take it personally. They may say, "You never come out anymore. You always seem tired. You used to be more social," or the one that makes you feel guilty. You're different now. And maybe you do not know how to explain it, because saying "I'm tired" never feels like it explains enough. It sounds smaller than what is actually happening. So you make it easier for people to accept. You say you have been busy. You say you need rest. You say maybe next time. And each explanation hides the part you do not know how to say. "I do not have the energy to be received right now." But underneath that, something deeper may be happening. You may not be tired of people themselves. You may be tired of what being around people requires from you. It is the way you have to smile when your body feels flat. The way you keep listening even when your mind wants quiet. The way you respond, make small talk, and constantly sense how you are being received. For some people, socializing is just being present. For others, socializing is an invisible job. You enter a room and immediately begin scanning. Who seems uncomfortable? Who needs reassurance? Who might think you are rude if you go quiet? Who needs you to be lighter than you feel? And the strange part is that nobody may notice you doing this. Because on the outside, you may look normal. You may laugh. You may answer questions. You may say the right things. You may seem fine. But inside, you are working. You are holding your face in place, keeping your tone acceptable, trying not to let your tiredness leak out, managing the distance between what you feel and what you show. Some people do not get tired from socializing. They get tired from monitoring themselves while they socialize. And that kind of tired is hard to defend. Because nothing obvious happened. There was no fight, no insult, No dramatic moment you can point to. Just the quiet feeling that something in you was being spent the entire time. That is why people may misunderstand your need for space. They see the absence. They do not see the effort that came before it. They see you pulling away. They do not see how long you spent trying to stay emotionally available. And maybe that is what hurts. You are not trying to reject everyone. You are trying to recover from the self everyone is used to receiving. The one who stays pleasant. The one who stays patient. The one who stays available, even when something inside is already asking to leave. So when people call you distant, it can feel unfair because they are judging the silence without understanding the performance that created it. And when people judge your silence without understanding the performance that created it, they miss the part that is happening inside your body. Because for some people, being around others is not just a social moment. It is a nervous system task. You are not only listening to words, you hear the tone underneath them. You watch faces without meaning to. A small pause can make you wonder if something shifted. Sometimes you sense a mood changing before anyone says it out loud. And then the questions start, did I say that wrong? Did my silence make this awkward? Should I smile more, give more, become easier somehow? This is what emotional hyper-awareness can feel like. You are present in the room, but part of you is also managing the room. And that management takes energy. Maybe this started long before you called it exhaustion. Maybe people liked you most when you were easy to be around, when you were mature enough not to need much, understanding enough to absorb tension, careful enough not to make things worse. And slowly, your body learned that connection meant staying manageable. So it does not turn off just because the people around you are kind. Even with friends, you may still scan. Even with coworkers, you may still adjust. Even with people you love, you may still feel responsible for keeping the mood balanced. That is why your tiredness can feel confusing. Because nothing terrible has to happen. You can be around good people and still feel drained. Not because they are bad, but because your body is doing old work in a new room. You are not just having a conversation. You are monitoring how safe it is to be yourself. You are measuring how much honesty the room can handle. You are deciding which parts of you should stay hidden so nobody feels uncomfortable. And over time, this creates a strange kind of loneliness. The kind where you are surrounded by people, but still feel far away from yourself. Because the more you manage how you are received, the less space you have to simply exist. People may think you are quiet because you have nothing to say. But sometimes you are quiet because so much is happening inside. Too many calculations, too many small adjustments, too many invisible decisions about how much of yourself is safe to show. And eventually, your body starts connecting people with effort. Not because you want it to, but because being around people has meant translating yourself, softening yourself, and staying alert for too long. That is why rest does not always feel like sleep. Sometimes rest feels like being alone in a room where nobody is reading your face. Nobody needs your reaction. Nobody needs you to be easier than you feel. And for the first time all day, your nervous system can stop working. And when your nervous system finally stops working, being alone can start to feel less like loneliness and more like relief. At first, you do not call it withdrawal. You just tell yourself you need a little room to breathe. One evening without explaining yourself, one plan you do not have to survive. One small pocket of quiet where nobody is expecting you to become anything. But then something happens. The silence surprises you. It does not feel exciting. It does not feel like happiness. It feels quieter than that, like your body has finally stopped holding its breath. No one is asking why you are quiet. No one is studying your face. You do not have to answer quickly, explain your mood, or become lighter just to keep the room comfortable. And for the first time in a while, your body exhales. This is why solitude can become so comforting for people who feel tired around everyone. It is not always because they dislike people. It is because being alone is the one place where they do not have to pretend they are okay. They may call it isolation, but your nervous system may call it rest. And when rest has been missing for a long time, it can become hard to give up. You start noticing how peaceful life feels when nobody has access to your energy on demand. No unexpected calls, no long messages to decode, no small talk to survive, no pressure to smile before you understand how you feel, no need to translate your inner world into something other people can easily accept. So you begin choosing quiet more often. At first, it feels like recovery. Then it becomes familiar. Then it becomes the only place where you know how to feel like yourself. And that is where it gets complicated because relief is real. But relief is not always healing. Sometimes the quiet helps you recover, and sometimes the quiet slowly teaches your body that every connection is a threat. Invitations start to feel like pressure, messages start to feel like demands, and every person can begin to feel like another room where you might have to disappear again. So you stop saying yes, you stop replying as quickly, you stop explaining why you are tired, you stop letting people get close enough to need something from you. And it makes sense because distance gives you control. No one can misread you if no one is close. No one can drain you if no one has access. No one can ask for more than you have if you stop showing up. But every protection has a shadow. The same silence that helps you recover can become the wall that keeps you unseen. The same distance that protects your energy can also protect you from being known. And maybe that is the painful part. You may not want to be alone forever. You may only want to be somewhere your body does not have to brace. Somewhere you can speak without calculating. Rest without guilt. Exist without becoming useful. Because the deeper problem is not that you hate people. The deeper problem is that being around people has started to feel like leaving yourself behind. And if being around people has started to feel like leaving yourself behind, then your tiredness makes sense. Maybe you are not cold. Maybe you are not antisocial. Maybe you are not difficult to love. Maybe your body is tired of becoming easier for everyone except you. For a long time, you may have thought this was just who you were. Maybe people called you quiet. Maybe they called you distant. Maybe they said you needed too much space or disappeared when life got heavy. But maybe those labels never told the whole story. Maybe they only described the outside of a nervous system that had been working too hard for too long. Because some people do not feel tired around everyone because they hate connection. They feel tired because connection has meant performance. It means smiling when you feel drained, listening when you feel empty, replying when silence is what you actually need, staying pleasant while some part of you has already left the room. Maybe you were never tired of connection. Maybe you were tired of the price you kept paying to stay acceptable inside it. And after a while, your body starts asking for the only thing that has ever helped it recover: a quieter room, a little more space, a distance where nobody can reach in and ask for the version of you that is already exhausted. That does not make you broken. It means something in you is asking to stop performing long enough to hear yourself again. But maybe the deeper hope is not to be alone forever. Maybe the hope is to find people who do not need you to be brighter than you feel. People who can sit with your silence without making it a problem. People who do not turn your tiredness into rejection or your existence into something useful. Because the real healing is not forcing yourself to be around everyone. And it is not cutting yourself off from everyone either. Maybe healing begins when your body learns that not every person requires a performance. You are not wrong for needing quiet. You are not selfish for wanting space. You are not broken because people feel heavy sometimes. Maybe you are simply exhausted from being the version of yourself that kept everyone else comfortable. And maybe the part of you that wants to be alone is not rejecting the world. Maybe it is protecting the part of you that still wants to feel real somewhere. If this felt personal, leave a dot in the comments. And if you want more videos that help you understand the hidden emotional patterns behind human behavior, consider subscribing to Cortex Psychology. Because sometimes the people who feel tired around everyone are not tired of people. They are tired of disappearing around them.